Guess we're going live anyway. Whoa.
Shit.
Oh, 1 second here. I still have my guest cam on right now.
No, I'm visible. I don't want to be visible.
Your, your. What the fuck did I just change? Excuse me. Welcome everyone. We're a little bit of a mess, and I look like a mess. I'm sorry if I look greasy. It's hot as balls, and Western Washington doesn't believe in air conditioning, so you will have to forgive my whatever. This is a great start to a stream.
Man, the heat's really hitting you more. Like more than I thought.
If you watch my recent videos, I look so out of it. It's one, exhaustion, but it's two, heat. It's a lot of times it's just so hot, and I'm just so done with it. It's just
how
donate now to get us into an air-conditioned apartment.
Oh yeah, is that a thing now? Can you donate on the YouTube side?
No, not yet. We're in the final process of, we're in the final steps of getting into the official like, YouTube's just checking the channel. It'll take like a week or two for them to actually like verify the channel, but we've passed AdSense. I've turned in the tax info, so everything is set to go. We just need that last bit. And hello everyone.
No, like, to put it in perspective, for Washington, like especially Western Washington, like it was only till last year that people were like, maybe buildings should have AC, because Washington was hit with a really bad like heat wave that did feel like if you're walking outside, you're just under like a giant heat lamp. Like it was like at least where I'm at, it was like 115, 116, which is like unheard of. As I know, my brother who lives up in Seattle was talking about how like that after that hit, all of these apartment complexes were immediately getting AC after they were like asking for it repeatedly, and then that heat wave kind of proved it. I guess not every area agreed with last year's trend, huh?
No, not yet. To be fair, like apartment complexes are just parasites. They're just
100%.
They do nothing. They let you stay there as long as you can tolerate it, and then when you leave, then they update it so that someone else will come in.
Yeah.
They'll never update it while you're living there.
No. At the very least, the one time I can say thank God I live in the Eastern Washington area, right?
Yeah, well, you're in Central Washington technically right now. Eastern Washington is also rough though. So.
I'm east to you.
That's true. You are east
to your perspective. I'm in Eastern Washington.
You know, that's fair. Everything on that side of the mountains is Eastern Washington.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always heard it. That's how I've only heard it referred to while I've been over here.
I have officially lived in like every part of Washington at this point. Because I went to college in Spokane, which is an hour from the border.
I've been to a good number of places in Washington, and I don't like most of them.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, like, if you don't like desert.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, granted, the one I spent actual decent number of time in is Spokane, and I would never live there, like 1,000 years. I do not like Spokane.
Spokane's very rough. I lived in Spokane for
I have family, or had family up there at least.
Yeah. To be fair, I lived out in Spokane Valley, which is it's better actually.
A little.
It's just Spokane with less druggies.
Yeah.
Essentially. So.
Oh, so it's like the Yakima Valley.
Oh, is there a Yakima Valley?
Yeah, there's like literally what you're explaining is an area in Yakima that's just it's a little better because you're not gonna get like stabbed. I think it is the Aqua Valley. It's like once you're like building like little like neighborhoods that are built up on the canyon wall, they're much nicer because you're not in Yakima.
Yeah. Yakima's a scary place.
100%, very scary. I had to go there for when I was making a documentary, and every time I was like, I'm a little scared. I was going up there like
yeah, that sounds sketchy. I almost got a job in Yakima actually.
Ugh.
Doing line art for. I almost was doing line art for O'Reilly Auto Parts. which was mostly just resizing line art so that they can make those the signs for the O'Reilly Auto Parts places.
Means you can listen to the jingle on loop.
Yeah, right.
Which is a good jingle. It's a good one.
It is a good jingle, but nothing on loop is ever good. I'm sorry.
That's true.
But welcome. We've it's been a day already. already. I was almost naked for like the last 2 hours until stream started, so it's hot. It's hot here, and we'll probably be getting some more people, and after since the stream has started. But welcome. Well, no, this is the unofficial, official. Maybe it's the official. I don't even know. I don't know what I want to do for a 1K special. Honestly, I've been so busy. There's still more Dark Archive content I gotta put out this week. It's it's been hard. But the channel has boomed. We're over 1,000. We got over 1,000 2 days ago, right? Yeah, because it was during our Warhammer stream, or the Warhammer like tabletop stream, and we're already pushing like, I don't know, 10, 12 people a day on the channel, which is a massive increase. And it's very exciting. The channel has become something that I honestly never imagined it could be this quickly. And yeah, so this is a thank you stream for everyone. You're free to ask me questions about the channel, everything we've done here, or about Dark Archive, because honestly, that's probably more exciting than the channel hitting 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, this cool new book. Though, actually, I guess in that case, I already have a question for you for having read everything. Of all of the classes and archetypes for Dark Archive, which one or like ones are you like most hyped about? Like, which ones just reading were you like the most just happy reading? The stuff you'd want to use.
I gotta say the classes were my favorite part by far as like player facing content, because Psychic is really cool. I really like the idea of a class that just feels super magical all the time, rather than other spellcasters who are just like, no, my spell slots. I've used my spell slot to get over this bitch, but at what cost?
At what cost?
Like the
I
psychic,
can't cast fireball.
The psychic's like, oops, I'm out of spell slots. Whatever. Incinerates with fireball like spell. Like the psychic and thaumaters both are really fun, and they got a lot of cool things in them. It's fun to watch also people talk about these classes and be like, oh wow, I really like this class, or like, oh, I really hate this thing, or whatever. It's just fun to see the discourse, especially because Pathfinder and Paizo in general are really good at not making bad content. But there's definitely content you have to think more of.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like that's the case with this. It's like, at least to my knowledge, granted, I have not read every part of Archive of Nethys, so correct me if I'm wrong here. It doesn't really feel like there is a bad class, super bad archetype. Stuff that just might be not as cool, maybe a little underwhelming, doesn't fully work as intended, but like everything feels good, like whenever they release something. Like everything feels like you could use it. There might just be stuff that's better, but like there's nothing that's like unusable with how bad it is.
Some of the archetypes are very meh, but like other than that, most archetypes and classes are pretty good.
The only one I've heard that is like the closest it's gotten was what Bullet Dancer was one you were explaining.
Bullet Dancer, yeah, but Bullet Dancer is good for monks. Like, if you're a monk.
Yeah.
They have some weird jank in them, though. And they have some jank in... Bullet Dancer is weird because it's like a monk subclass, but then they put in stuff that doesn't work as a monk subclass.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's stuff that just doesn't work as intended.
Really wonky. But, like, Bounty Hunter is one of the ones that I think about a lot just because it's... it's like, hey, you get hunt prey, only not as good because you don't get any of the unique benefits that it normally does. And it's a archetype that gives you access to like a few martial weapons that if you're a martial character anyway, you already have access to. And yeah, I don't know. It just has a bunch of feats that are kind of like meh. Sleepwalker, I've been hearing a lot about. So Sleepwalker will be coming up. Is it next? Let me check out Dark Archive.
Yeah, I don't know what order you're doing them in.
I'm just doing them in the order that they show up in the book.
Oh, all right. So you did Time Person.
Chrono Skimmer was the one we just did.
Time Oracle's next.
Time Oracle we're not doing because that is not a class or archetype.
Oh.
It's just an additional mystery, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's just a new mystery added to Oracles. And to be fair, we don't do class deep dives on this channel anyway, so.
That's true. Then in that case, it'd be the Psychic Duelist, right?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you have the book too.
I do. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it is. Oh, there's 3 more archetypes. Man, I wish I could count. It make my life easier.
Psychic Duelist, Mindsmith, and Sleepwalker.
Yeah, Psychic Duelist is next. Then we'll have Mindsmith coming out on Saturday. And I guess we'll have Sleepwalker coming out on Sunday. Because Psychic Duelist will be tomorrow. A lot of them are really interesting, and I'm very excited to do them. I've just been working my ass off for a few weeks here, so... If I'm less than enthusiastic, it's the heat, trust me. But yeah.
Oh my god, Dream Logic feat for the Sleepwalker. That's really fun.
Maybe I will do Sleepwalker tomorrow. I'll just go out of order. It's the last one anyway, so.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's the one I feel like I keep seeing people asking you to do.
Yeah, you know what, that's fair. It's in the same category area. So we'll do Sleepwalker next. How about that? Sleepwalker will come out next, and we will continue on with everything after that. But all of them are going to be really interesting, especially because these are the more psychic-based style archetypes. And yeah, so I would say the things I'm the most excited for overall is just Thaumaturge and Psychic, because they're classes, obviously. And they're both really well designed. They don't feel too strong or too weak. And I think there's a lot of potential. Thaumaturge will probably become like my second favorite class because it's essentially the supernatural version of Investigator.
Yeah.
If it doesn't become my favorite, I don't know. I might play it and think it's really, really fun. But
oh man, I had one of my roommates come at me like recently, be like talking about Pathfinder 2e because I mentioned it, like that I do this with you, and he was talking about how he's creating a character for Pathfinder. And was like talking about like, oh, you know about Dark Archive? I'm like, my man, yeah. I am at the source for like Dark Archive info. And I was telling him about Thaumaturge, and I realized like after I like told him about it, I was literally parroting shit you said in a previous table talk.
Yeah,
because I straight up just said, yeah, it's like a supernatural like investigator, and was like running through that stuff with him.
It's really good. Overall,
it looks cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those nice classes where I feel like I don't think I'm gonna play it anytime soon, but it's objectively really cool. And if I have a party and there's a Thaumaturge in it, I'll be happy. But like Psychic is everything I've wanted. Yeah. So I am fucking happy.
You literally got your mental duelist, probably in the best form we've ever seen in tabletop. Because even in anime, it was kind of like more flavoring of things than it was actually psychically dueling people.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's very exciting. The other stuff, I really like the cryptids. Actually, the cryptid section is really cool because you can change any monster into a cryptid by just throwing on a template on top of it, and the templates are sick. There's been this picture of this mutated unicorn floating around, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. The mutant unicorn is great. I'm gonna go get some more juice because it is hot as balls.
That's fair. I'll talk about something I just read then. Holy shit, the Mindsmith archetype is probably This is one of the first times I've read an archetype and is like, I need to make a character around this. This is so cool. The archetype that lets you create weapons from your mind and wield them. Like just from a dedication, you get to pick a few options. One-handed weapon that deals 1d4 damage and has agile finesse. One-handed weapon that does 1d6 and has finesse. One-handed weapon that deals d8, or two-handed that does 1d10 and has reach. And there's so many cool feats to build like this character of like someone who creates a weapon out of thin air and fights with it. That is so cool.
Yeah, this is why, you know what's crazy, right? And we were talking about this before stream, but like Pathfinder's constantly growing. Do you know how often Pathfinder trends on Twitter?
I keep seeing it pop up.
It keeps happening like every 2 to 3 weeks. It trends on Twitter for a little bit. So like the hobby's blowing up in a lot of ways. A lot more people are moving over, especially because everyone's kind of getting tired of playing D&D over and over and over and over again. So they kind of want to cleanse their palate, do something similar but different.
Mm-hmm.
So, the channel is going to probably blow up just because so many people are coming over. And we have some of the best content when it comes to people who are interested in making characters for Pathfinder.
Yep, we got a lot of fun informational stuff for people to figure out, and really, find out the stuff they want to add to their character. Archetypes, classes, go through all that, talk about the fun shit you can do.
You have no idea how happy I was that Chrono Skimmer came out under 7 minutes.
How?
A lot of them have been 27 plus.
Yeah, it is fair. I still think the funniest thing is this video is going to be a little long. It's going to be 25 minutes, 40.
Yeah, thought materials.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of these are just more complicated. Dark Archive is definitely advanced player content, so.
Which honestly, I feel like is a good thing. It's this new material is more complicated because if you're excited for Dark Archive, you already play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can make something more complicated for the people who are actively playing Pathfinder. They're the ones who will use it, not people who are I'm just getting into Pathfinder for the first time. I'll try out Dark Archive.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're going to be though, but
yeah. Because everything in it's so fucking cool.
It's got really cool stuff. Oh my goodness. It's been insane. My goodness. But yeah, it's been a lot in a lot of different ways. Living Vessel is also a really cool archetype. That was a really fun one, and I think that's going to be a very fun story-based one. It's definitely not a powerful archetype, besides sometimes you get some really cool abilities once per hour rather than once per day. But the biggest thing is, some entity is using your body as a vessel, and you can do the whole, Sukuna and Midoriya from Jujutsu Kaisen, essentially.
A fun character.
Especially because, the entity is, inherently kind of malicious, or at least has goals that are different from yours that it wants to achieve. So there's a lot of really fun things with the archetype, and that's, I think, what Dark Archive has done really well, especially in comparison to some other books that have come out. Because, in other books, right, you get something like the Artillerist, or you get something like the Unwitting Sharpshooter, or you get the Sterling Dynamo, or whatever, which are character archetypes that are cool, kind of. They change how you play the game, but they're not really identity defining for characters. While Dark Archive, it's oh yeah, so your character's possessed, and there's a demon, or there's a fiend or aberration or fae inside of you that's you trying to puppet your body, and you have to fight it, and you get cool abilities out of it. So yeah,
an archetype that also serves as a backstory and plot hook.
And a lot of the archetypes are like that. Time Mage. Any caster can be Time Mage, and Time Mage is an aesthetic, and I think there's also just a lot of ways you can go about like aesthetically defining Time Mages. And Chrono Skimmer, the art for it is sick,
so good,
and it's just you're playing this character that kind of just is unstable in the timeline and can bounce around and do things. And it's really, really cool. And some of the other archetypes as well that we have yet to get to are really good. The alter ego uses mirror magic. I think everyone's sleeping on the Cursed Maelstrom, right? Cursed Maelstrom, you can become a Cursed Bomb with it. Like, you can do some massive damage with the Cursed Maelstrom. You can just turn yourself into a bomb and take out an entire room with it. It's really cool.
Sounds crazy.
There's so many of them that are just really good, and that's why I think this particular book has been good, and it propelled the channel well ahead of where we should be. We're already 20 subs into 1,000 already, and that's over the course of 2 days. So, and we'll probably get more as the days go by here. Well, obviously, we're going to get more as the days go by. But I mean, like, as this day goes by, we're probably going to have a lot more today. And yeah, so, I mean, nothing special for this stream in particular. We're just going to be talking about, you know, whatever on the channel or Dark Archive or what have you. And we'll probably get most people will probably jump in like an hour and a half in. That's always what happens.
Yeah. Though I wonder how streaming visibility will also change with having 1K.
I don't know. Streaming on YouTube is a little weird in general. Streaming visibility is almost solely focused on if people are already subbed to your channel rather than like Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I use the Discovery homepage all the time. I never see like I don't never, but I almost never see live content unless it's from a channel I'm already watching.
I sometimes get suggested live streams. Like, I never click them, but it's like 1 in every like 30 I see a live stream. And I always see like for weird ones, like live streams for like they're doing or talking about stuff that I have no interest in and like I've never really watched content on. It's like, we're playing this weird JRPG that I've never heard of. It's like, yeah, I don't know why you're suggesting me this, YouTube, but
right.
Go off.
Yeah, I mean, it might get better with time. It's still relatively new. What I'm excited for is just the interactivity we're going to have with the being partnered. We're going to be getting donations. People will be able to do a lot more things. Hopefully, Twitch will open up its availability so that we can live stream on Twitch too. And then,
be cool if it can happen soon, but
I really hope they do it. I at least for affiliates, I hope they do it, because definitely I would love to do more of the like the little images, you know, the badges. I'd love to do more of the chat alerts and everything like that, and we'll get stuff like that kind of situated for YouTube as best as we can. But YouTube pales in comparison to Twitch as far as like interactivity is concerned.
Yeah, YouTube treats its actual like streaming creators a bit better, but it is like years behind Twitch, like the actual like how everything's set up and functions, like to the point where some of it had to be like created by one of the streamers, because they're, you know, yeah, Ludwig made an extension that well, he didn't make it, he got it made, but it's an extension that adds like basic shit that Twitch has been doing for like 5-10 years,
right?
You know, like just that stuff, like making the stream chat like readable when you have a lot of people, like basic stuff that had to be like.
So yeah, I mean, definitely we're at a point now where a lot more will be done. The chats will be a lot more interactive. I have a fun idea for something I'd like to do. The Ultimate Improv Challenge, I think, is one that would be a lot of fun.
It's such a fun idea. I really want to do it.
Just the idea of having to suddenly swap games, swap accents, whatever. You know what's hard about being a content creator, though? Caring about shit that I just never had to worry about before. Because, right, I'm like, change your accent, right? That sounds super fun. That sounds like a fun way to trip everyone up and get some really fun moments, especially when someone does one bad. But then there's going to be people out there who are just going to be upset because you're, like, you're making fun of other accents or whatever. And it's like, unfortunately, everyone does it. People make fun of American accents all the time in other countries.
Just, yeah, I'll do. I know one of them is gonna be British.
Yeah, we'll do like Cockney British. We'll do
Cockney British. Oh, we're playing orcs then, I see.
Yeah. Well, we'll have like Scottish or Irish sheep herder. We'll have
that is like, this is, you know what, this accent part is the part that's terrifying, because I genuinely cannot do accents. I can do an okay 40k orc because I hear the 40k orcs all the time, but like that's it.
Yeah, but see, that's the fun of it. That's
so bad.
Watching your space marine have to suddenly switch to a Cockney accent. It's gonna start sounding. I just realized that would be hilarious. Space Marines talking like orcs.
You mean the home chapter, the Ultra Morons, which is yeah, it is a kit bash thing that someone made where it is a bunch of orcs pretending to be Ultramarines.
That's hilarious.
They're trying their best to like blend in, and it's just like they're just wearing it poorly. They're just like trying to be like, for the Emperor.
For the Emperor, yeah.
It's like, it's really funny. There's a few comics where it's like an orc pretending to be a space marine and like thinking, I'm totally pulling this off.
Yeah. So, and I think I like the spread we've set up for it. So the biggest problem is just the logistics of the situation. Because we like to have an interactivity where, people can donate to swap a character's accent, or donate like $5 or $10 to swap what game we're even playing. And I would find that hard if there's a battle map in the works, but I think it would be a really fun event to have a bunch of people like participate in. So if we get the channel to a point where we're getting a lot more interactivity and something like that, that's something definitely we'll plan on doing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, man, I should have put in like, I accidentally killed the president or something, then a lot more people would be here.
Yeah, that's great clickbait. The one of the few things in like the First Amendment that's actually illegal. I mean, you could say just like the secrets of Dark Archive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, clickbait, Dark Archive, and then put parentheses 1K subscriber.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. If it's a chill stream, it's a chill stream. This is a chance for me to like sit back for another day while I get ready to make 3 more archetype videos. Oh god. But we should be all very thankful that we have a game company that very regularly produces books that have so much player material in them. Holy shit. There's like 10 archetypes in this book. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's 8. Yeah, there's 8. Feels like 10.
I could have been fooled that there were 10. I mean, I can't relate with a game company actually producing books with like consistent, like quality,
consistent and balanced rules with no power creep.
Yeah, Granted, I understand why there's power creep in 40K because that's how you get people to buy the books. But
Yeah, but that's shitty.
it is. It's shitty, but it's how it is.
Well, I don't even think that needs to be how it is. I mean, Pathfinder sells so many books and all their shit's balanced, so...
It shouldn't be, but essentially they're created a market of people buying new book and then buying a lot of kits of miniatures and a lot of paints and like all that stuff. Because with each book, there is like the top players who are dropping like their army because this one's now like the new best thing, and then they just they buy this new thing. For them to stop doing it would be killing their profits. They're not going to change it. I don't like that it's how they do it. There's not really any changing it.
Man,
so granted, it's like for every 40K, there's like a well-designed war game, like the Lord of the Rings one, the Marvel one, which is really good actually. It's handled super well. They're releasing new stuff, but none of it's like broken. It's all consistent quality. Also, it is very fun because actually, one thing with how that game works is you have randomized missions, and all of them are read to you as they're J. Jonah Jameson headlines.
Oh, that's cool.
It's super fun. Like, you actually draw from a deck that is like it's all like newspaper headlines to figure out what the threat is that you have to deal with.
That's really cool.
It's a really fun one, and they just added the Russian Avengers team. I forget what they're called. The one with like the Russian version of Captain America, the giant bear like Ursa or something.
Yeah, I can't think of it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I keep wanting to get into it, but I just don't have the money for it.
That's the worst thing, right? If this becomes successful and we make money off of it, just imagine all the bullshit we buy.
I can't wait to buy a bunch of minis.
Just bunch of minis. A gaming table, man. I'd love to get a house and get a nice gaming room and have a nice camera set up for it so that we could just do whatever on the table, make content when we want, and then when we're not making content, just hook everything up and just play like good old fashioned in-person tabletop. Man, isn't that the dream? In-person tabletop.
Honestly, it was something I was talking to Slug with, where they're mentioning like it'd be cool if get to that point all of us are like in the same area, because I would 100% teach everyone 40K to see if they want to get into it.
I mean,
really
depending on what we discussed earlier, they might have to.
Hell yeah.
Especially because if it's like in Booter, they're gonna definitely be doing a lot of the grunt work. So
hey, I mean, more people into the hobby I love, the better. Though I wouldn't wish this hobby on most people.
It's fair.
It's an acquired taste to play a game for a company that hates you.
That's also another thing I want to do. If this becomes successful enough, I definitely want to keep working on the thanks Spider-Nos on the tabletop I've been designing. Like, the first playtest has been super ready for a while now. I just have not had the time to sit down and get people together to get the Warhammer thing. Literally, I just had to cannibalize the Riptide group to get it working. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's hard to get people to do stuff with, and hopefully as time goes on and the channel grows more, we'll get more and more people in the community or on the team who can do more stuff. I would definitely love to do live actual play content that's in person. Oh, well, thanks, Spirenos. Thank you. And yeah, enjoy. That the Junker's Delight book or AP is really, really good from what I've heard. And Starfinder is really good. That's another one I needed to work on, is the impressions of Starfinder.
Yeah, that's true. Man, that system's like one of those things where I'm like, this is cool. I wish I liked it or like cared about it,
Yeah, I think unfortunately it just feels like Pathfinder, and thus it's hard to like get your attention. I do like some of the stuff. I love the classes they have in it, and all the races make it really interesting.
like it's that kind of thing where it's like there's things in it that are really cool, and it makes it worse because it's more stuff where I'm like, I wish I cared, but like I don't.
Well, the hard part is there's not an idea of what you should be doing in it, so it just feels like Pathfinder in space.
Yeah, that's fair.
If there was like a really interesting lore or something like that, or a really interesting aesthetic change to it, I think it would be really, really, really big. Because I do, and I mean, it is big in a sense. I love Starfinder players, but it's definitely, I feel like it just has the problem of not interesting enough lore. And I think that's a big thing about tabletop in general, is making the games more interesting and less cliche, I guess, in a sense, where you can make content that people want to figure out what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, oh man, that's a good idea too. Definitely, for the game I want to make, I'd love to do an ARG for it too. I don't know how I'd set that up, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that would be. Yeah, because like I love ARGs. I have no clue how you make one.
That's fair, but to be fair, Pathfinder is the newest and freshest iteration of content for, you know, Paizo. So they just got the formula, and now I think Pathfinder 2E is just the ultimate version of what Pathfinder should be. I think if they come out with any future editions, it will be to just hammer out the small parts of it, but I think they got like 10, 20 years of content out of Pathfinder 2nd edition, easy.
Quite possibly. Granted, and I don't know, because according to what Mark was saying last week, of how whatever the fuck that action system was, like all that, like that explanation of just
first
like
edition action system.
Oh god.
Well, it's just because it has
So
a
much.
standard action system, and then they add extra actions on top of it. It's really silly.
Yeah.
Warhammer Wrath and Glory takes a little from it, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hmm.
They have the same kind of the same kind of flow in it, honestly.
Interesting.
But
I wouldn't have thought there'd be much crossover there. Because it seems like a lot of the inspiration in Wrath of Glory actually does come from like the war game.
It does. Well, how the basic rules were set up, but of course, you know, they're gonna take systems that work from other games, like how the action system works and all that other kind of stuff. We haven't played yet, but I think it's gonna be a really good one. I actually am. I got pretty good like hopes for it to be a really good like one shot.
I think our like our little party is gonna be really fun to just interact with.
Yeah,
I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time. I've wanted to try out this system for a long time. It's, you know, a setting and stuff I really like, but also just reading through it, like the rules are really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do.
There's some interesting things. I think it's pretty basic, honestly, but I do like how it feels like you're playing the war game in tabletop form. I actually really like that feeling. So.
Which is a step up from Dark Heresy, which is the other tabletop system they have, which I've heard is good, but from what I understand is also like, I think that one probably takes more from like original Pathfinder, if my cursory knowledge is like to be trusted. It seems like it's a much more complex system, though. Also, Wrath and Glory, the core book, that book came out a while ago, and then they've recently been adding like supplement stuff. I think they might have released an errata or two at this point, so the game might be a little different once you have the other books.
I don't know.
I haven't read them.
It's gonna be a ways down before we hit that one. So we'll have to see. But I don't know. Like, Warhammer, I think, is really interesting. I think it's really fun, and I think it really adds to the tabletop sphere. And I think if you're a Warhammer nerd, playing a Warhammer tabletop, I think is just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, regardless, you're going to enjoy the endless bits of brother,
shoot those mutants over there for the Emperor.
They hide in their metal boxes. I can't wait to just quote Dawn of War lines at people.
Yeah.
Because those are like all the fucking like, brother, I am pinned here. That's all from like Dawn of War.
Yeah.
And Dawn of War voice acting goes fucking hard.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for it. Our game is gonna be a lot of fun, I feel like. And man, imagine, right? Because more future content, more little tidbits that no one else will get to see because there's only like a handful of people here. Imagine doing like, it'd be fun, like a hybrid content where we're playing like the Warhammer, like actual war game, and then suddenly like a scenario comes up and we shift to the tabletop version of it to play out an event.
A more complicated like version of like Crusade. Holy shit, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
because
wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, because there's in the game there's like the story mode version of Crusade, which essentially is just it's like a Galactic Conquest from old Battlefront 2. And then you're in a battle scenario or something and you shift over. That'd be sick.
Yeah, there's like an event that happens, right? And you had to compete to get there, and then if both parties get there, it shifts over as it becomes an in-person like event fighting each other.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be really, really cool.
Or there's side stuff where you're playing your characters. Maybe they're working for like the Inquisition or something, and you have to like undermine Tau diplomacy, and then like to make way so a local guard regiment can like invade a planet.
No, even better, right? I got a great idea. You have two events happening at the same time. You have the Warhammer, the actual game, and then you have a different group playing the TTRPG, and they affect each other because they're happening in the same place. Like,
that'd be really fun.
If a player does like a certain types of actions or takes certain points, like the party suddenly gets invaded by like Tyranids or something like that, and if the party like they hit like this button, some building like explodes, doing a bunch of wounds to a bunch of units nearby or something like that, like we could do something really fun with that.
That'd be really fun.
Hybrid content I honestly think a lot of what I talked about is hybrid content. I think hybrid content is the way of evolving tabletop further, just doing stuff that's more interesting, more dynamic, just changing the way the rules of the game in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of fun crossover stuff, and Warhammer's a really good one for that because the people who love Warhammer love it a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those things where once you're really in it, you're insanely passionate and can talk about it for many hours straight.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about anyone in specific, It's like it's I don't know, there's something about it where like with how absolutely stupidly dense Warhammer is like once you're in it, you're really invested. And like so to the point where like as I am right now, I feel pretty confident I could give a rundown of the entire timeline of 40K up to like modern lore. Like I could do that. Just because it's the thing of like I've just enjoyed Warhammer so much because there's so many different ways you can enjoy it. Like you can just be I just like the books, I just play the games, I watch like the show. I
understand the passion because that's how I am with like Anima or Pathfinder. Just I know like everything, every little thing because I enjoy it so much. I just delve endlessly.
It really helps that there is just so many ways to like enjoy Warhammer content.
There is, yeah.
There's so many different ways because like that's the thing. If you don't like the game, if you don't like the shows, which granted the actual content on Warhammer Plus is not very good.
Right.
There's like I will say of everything on there is probably like an hour of good content for like the 10 hours I think at this point of like content they have. It's really there's like a few episodes of Hammer the Bolter, one series, and like that's really it.
Right.
And then I've heard another thing's pretty good. But like the books are genuinely like phenomenal. Like Gaunt's Ghosts, Caiaphas Cain, Eisenhorn, the Horus Heresy books, like the first few Horus Heresy books, and there's a few like random ones that are just phenomenal. Like it's some of the best books I've read is in the 40K like universe, because it's like you watch it, you're reading it, and you're like you go from like genuinely like gripping battle scenes to like really interesting philosophical discussions, like to like and really deep characters that you're just shocked like that exist in this dumb grimdark goofy sci-fi universe. Like it's there's something special about it.
Yeah, and you know, and that's kind of just how I feel about like tabletop in general. And I feel like there just needs to be more ways to enjoy tabletop, more things that are done. That's why I want to make silly, stupid content that's about like tabletop, Warhammer, Pathfinder, whatever, you know, doing all kinds of things. Like the dream is one day get a studio and we just do all kinds of really fun things with various tabletops, taking the forums, adding in different things, shifting how the games work, LARPing, doing whatever, you know. Like, I think that there's just so many ways tabletop can be enjoyed, and the communities are hungry for it in a sense, right? There are so many people out there who absolutely love D&D and would not want to play the game. Isn't that ridiculous?
It is a little.
But it's because of like Critical Role and everything like that. Everyone's like getting into the fantasy core of being characters from D&D games or whatever.
In that D&D movie that's coming out.
That D&D, that does look like a good movie.
It looks like a fun movie. Is like
it's
the
supposed
best
to be though, right?
Yeah, and also it's like I forget who said it, but I think it's a really good point of that movie is probably the most true to D&D possible, because apparently the plot is a party that like fucks up and has to fix the problem that they caused.
Right.
Which, how many times has that happened in your tables? Like,
not many for mine, but like for everyone else's maybe.
It's pretty common. Like not for us, but like the story of like we do something and then like, oh no, the consequences of our actions.
It's a very D&D thing.
Very D&D. Like it fits like what an adventurer that a party would go through. It looks fun. I'll give it a watch, and I assume it's just going to be an enjoyable time. Nothing like deep filmmaking. I
mean, I think it's going to be like the Marvel universe of D&D.
That's a good way to put it.
It's just going to be like a bunch of people getting together, having fun. There's going to be lots of explosions, lots of fun, like hints and all that kind of stuff.
As Scorsese put it, it's going to be more of a roller coaster, not a movie or cinema. It's not. Yeah. It's entertainment first.
And you know, hopefully the characters are done well, because that's where everything's going to lie in. If the characters feel like real player characters, I think we'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, that's what matters. Is it a character that someone would just roll up to a table with? Which, from what I'm understanding, they're basic, like, you know, not crazy deep characters. They're like you know, the horny bard, like, stereotype characters.
And thanks, Metal Lord, for the sub. Metal Lord.
One more subscriber.
We're getting a lot all the time.
It's true.
It's soon just not going to even be an event that's going to be... Well, I mean, it's always going to be worth a note, but, like, it's just going to be so common. There's a lot of stuff that's coming up, and, like, on this channel, I definitely want to produce, you know, more content that everyone wants to see, like archetype videos, class videos, build videos. I think will be another step we're going to take. And trying to hammer out those ideas is going to be, I think, what's going to really bring the channel forward for sure. But we're also going to be, you know, I also want to do, like, I want to do big content. I want to do content that's really fun. Like, imagine being like the Mr. Beast of tabletop. Isn't, like, just the big wacky things that can be done. I'm That's the kind of stuff I would love to do. I'd love to make tabletop really, really fun because it is
That would
really
be
fun.
wild. Yeah.
And like, I think tabletop can be just as fun as video games, if like not more so. Because video games, I love video games. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love video games. I've been playing a lot of video games recently, even just in my free time whenever I get a chance, and I really, really like them. But I think like a lot of the multiplayer aspect of video games has kind of rotted over the years. It's kind of toxic being online in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there's not many good like co-op stuff that's come out.
There's not great co-op stuff. Like, there are some, and to be fair, there are groups out there who go on and play certain games with lots of people that are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like even then, like one co-op game I've been looking forward to got delayed again.
Which one?
Dark Tide.
Oh, did it get delayed again?
November.
Ugh.
Yeah, which honestly, from what it sounds like, they're just gonna make it so it's not a Vermintide 1 and 2 release, which is like unplayable for a month. Because that's what happens. It's like fair, but on the other hand, like you keep posting these videos of like gameplay. I want in. I want to play. I want a 40k shooter. That's like all I wanted. They keep making fucking strategy games. I don't want to think. I want 40k.
It's
that's what the tabletop's for. And even then, I just throw my shit at the enemy because all the armies I play are just big beat sticks. They have no strategy. They move forward and hurt.
Exactly. And you know, in the same, that's why I think tabletop is something that can be competitive with gaming in a lot of ways, because it's just gaming in another sense, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more personalized. You're making your own adventures. You can kind of get out of your mind for a little bit and just role play a dumb character. Like you can play tabletop mindlessly in your own way by just forgetting about everything you're doing and just reverting into a weird vegetable person who worships, you know, the gods of death and despair.
Yeah, that's the character you want to play.
You know.
Though granted, tabletop doesn't let you play as a cat roaming a cyberpunk world, so it has a few, you know, growing pains it's got to get past, you know?
I mean, it could.
It could, but I would be very uncomfortable if I was sitting at a table with a bunch of people role-playing as cats. So...
It all comes back. Warrior cats never die.
No, it's don't! Ah! You don't need to bring this here. I get enough of that in my DMs from Vale every once in a while. I'm unsafe anywhere I go.
This is my safe space. Don't take this from me.
It's the one place I have.
There's it's there's a lot of stuff that I think can be done to change tabletop. I feel like it's just because tabletop hasn't been mainstream enough where people don't understand like the potential that lies in it. Imagine if you could actually get like imagine if you could actually play like a video game version of a tabletop game where you're sitting there role playing, but all your actions and everything is done through a game system in a sense. Right.
Like a truly like open-ended like RPG kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be a very interesting time where AI can simulate being like a dungeon master.
Right, but like the technology exists already to do stuff like this, right? All you need is a system that can just randomly generate a dungeon. You just click a button, create sewer, create tomb, create whatever, and you can just have a computer just automatically generate a dungeon. They do this in video games already for a lot of things, a lot of procedurally generated things. Just bring that to tabletop. Be on Roll20 and you can just hit the generate dungeon button then when you're role playing your game, you don't have to be like, all right, guys, wait up, let me set up the battlefield, and everything like that. You just generate dungeon, and there you go,
Yeah, go full Gloomhaven with it.
Yeah, and like one kind of content I really want to do is I want to do actual play content, but have it be kind of curated in a way where it looks like you're doing an RPG game where people are talking and their characters kind of like fade into the screen facing each other talking,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Or like when their emotion change or something, you just hit a button and their character like shifts into like shock or anger or something like that, and I think there's a lot of ways you can enhance the tabletop experience, peripherals you can add. And I think we'll get to a point, honestly, where people will make decisions. Do we want to go play our favorite MMO, or do we just want to go and play our favorite TTRPG, and with that less kind of like time commitment? The biggest thing is time commitment, because it's hard to get everyone together. Someone has to run the game, and schedules are always like not what they should be. But what if you could set it up in a way where getting GMs is easy? What if you could set it up in a way where you even have AI GMs? What if you could set it up in a way where you and your friends can go do an adventure by yourselves if you want to? Like, one thing I've been talking about, try chewing on nice, is like integrating forum roleplay with tabletop roleplay. And if you have a website that's really well designed where official play stuff, like you could hire people to be GMs on this, right? Where it's kind of like the first ever TTRPG MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Where everyone is online. You have GMs who are sitting, waiting. Imagine getting paid for the day, and even if no one comes up to you, you get paid for the day for being a GM, doing nothing. And if someone does come up, optimally, people do come up, join your games or whatever, you can run games. And then if you're an official GM, you can log that character's information on like a website, web-based like profile system. And then if that character wants to go into any other game, well, their stats are there in the official system. You don't even have to worry about players cheating and putting stuff on there that they shouldn't, unless the website gets hacked. But you can design a website that is hard to hack, at least. And you can literally go and you can just hop online and be like, hey, who's around? Oh, look, there's a GM there, and join in a queue. Or you can play with other people, other people who are not official GMs who, want to run game. And yeah, your items and whatever you get in that game doesn't necessarily transfer onto your character. But then again, other GMs can run stuff for your character knowing that your character is not gimped or like smurfed out of their mind, with a bunch of extra stuff. Like, imagine just being able to go on and play tabletop whenever you want, when the feeling hits. And it can be official. You can actually have like online progression for your characters, or you can take that and just go back to your game that you're playing with your GM, and then be like, oh, I see you went and did adventure. Okay, let's work this into the story, like what you were doing on downtime. Or, okay, we'll keep those items and stuff off your character sheet until the next time we have downtime, and then that gets added, And I think there's a strong future for that.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely wild if like that was just possible. It's completely like untapped, like that. Like feels like there's so much more that can be done that just isn't, because that's not how it was, like it hasn't been done because it's never been done that way kind of situation.
We're here. You heard it here first, folks. Battle.net Gamer, we're on the cutting edge of innovation in the tabletop field. All the stuff in the future will become the Amazon of tabletop. Like, all the cool stuff will be us, and then people come and be like, hey, can we use your stuff for our products? I'm like, hell yeah, you can. Just give me a small percentage of your profits, and there you go. They'll get the systems over. They'll get into it. We'll keep feeding the beast, and then anyone who wants to do anything tabletop, like, at least is paying us in some form, even if just pennies at a time.
Yeah. Be wild.
I think it's possible. I think it's very, very likely to happen, and I think right now, especially with how things have been for tabletop, I think it is fertile ground for stuff like that. So
totally.
As soon as we invest, and as soon as people, as soon as the channel grows more and more and more, we'll get there. We just gotta keep being diligent, keep being here, and I don't know, maybe I'm overly ambitious. I honestly feel like all this stuff is possible, though.
I mean, it's better to have more ambitions than to have none.
Yeah, but
to have all the stuff that you want to do. You want to have all the stuff that you want to do more than, like, just not wanting to do anything at all.
That's true. But I like to have my ideas be at least realistic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. It's always fun to have, like, one or two concepts where you're like, I want to do this. I'm most likely never going to be in a situation where I can do this. But, like, what if,
Yeah, I don't like dreaming like that. I like having, like, very grounded dreams to pursue and fight after. Because, honestly, like I said, it might sound like I'm just blowing tabletop up to be so much more than it is. But there's no other kind of content where you get to make your own narratives and own stories, where you get to be the hero in the actual story. Video games try, but in the end, someone else wrote the story before you even started playing.
Yeah.
So tabletop's the only place where you are legitimately the protagonist, the main focus of the story, for better or worse. I mean, like, we've had some really great, memorable adventures in tabletop games.
Yeah.
And that is such a unique experience. It's so personal. And sometimes it comes out and it becomes more than personal. Other people see your content. It blows up. You become famous for your characters and your ideas. That's something that's also going to start here on the channel soon.
That'll be fun.
Is people are going to start asking about y'all's characters now. Like, what's your build? Or, I really love your character. Can I draw them?
It's like the one thing that I'm, like, super excited and also worried about when it comes to just, like, myself. Because it's, on one hand, I would absolutely love it if a character I made kind of got popular. People made fan art and stuff. The thing I'm, like, genuinely not, like, excited for is the eventuality of, because it's the internet, it's, fandom stuff. The one thing I really don't want is shipping culture, like shipping stuff around the characters I play. I really don't like it, and I think that in general it extends to my characters where it makes me really uncomfortable. So, like, I hope it never happens. But granted, and apparently I know nothing about the culture of it, so I've been told that a lot of people, like the good ones in that community, do their best to hide it from the person that they're, like, talking about, which, good. I don't seek that shit out, so I'll most likely never see it.
Right.
On the other hand, still, I worry about, like, the idea of people, like, shipping my characters or myself with other things. I don't think it weirds me out.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's also weird for me, right? Because I'm more facing the population,
Yeah.
My likeness is eventually going to be recreated, and probably not in ways I'm going to like.
Yeah.
A lot of ways I will like, but a lot of ways I won't like. Especially because I'm going to be married soon. So, like, that's also awkward.
Oh, true. It's a thing that's just, like, crossing that bridge if it eventually happens on that field. I don't know. We could have just a cool fandom that doesn't do that.
Hopefully. But fingers crossed.
It'll just be a thing that's like I'll just have to be careful with making sure that my boundaries are known. Because at least another thing I've heard is that, like, apparently people who, like, draw not safe for work fan art of your character or you, a lot of them will ask for consent of the person.
That's
good. Then I can give my blanket. Nope, please don't.
Yeah. So we'll see, but, like, and again, a lot of this sounds bizarre coming from a channel. It's like, well, if we hit 1,000, yeah, we hit the starting line. We're going to make it big, kind of stuff. But it's not unfounded, right? we were just talking before stream about the fact that the channel has been hitting some marks that other people have just been missing in general. And a lot of the ideas I come up with are just don't exist, even though I think they're very viable. A lot of them are.
Yeah. For Pathfinder stuff, especially.
Yeah. So, it's just kind of a thing of like, what, if you're the innovator, you have nothing to go off of, and you don't know if it's going to work until you do it, Yeah. So it's like Amazon didn't think that they were going to be a huge mega corporation when they were selling books out of a garage.
Yeah, they didn't think they'd be buying hospitals like they've been doing recently.
They've been buying hospitals?
Have you not heard about this?
No. That sounds concerning.
They've been developing an Amazon healthcare.
That's super concerning.
Yeah, dude.
That's very dystopian.
Yes.
God. Can't wait to have a chance to live wherever I want.
Man, like a thing, dude. You know what, actually, speaking of that, I went up this last weekend to Victoria, Canada.
Yeah.
God damn, that place is really nice.
Is it?
Like actually a nice place. Like, the best way to put it is imagine Seattle, but like, it's clean.
Yeah.
Nice to be in. The city, so the city feels like it was planned. There's like dedicated shit for pedestrians to walk around. The traffic there is really good. Every single restaurant fucking slaps. Like, it's a well-designed place. And also just while living there, it's like, you see a little bit less like just people that you're a little like worried to walk next to. Like, you don't feel like you're gonna get stabbed when you're in Victoria. There are alleyways that are meant for people to walk through.
Yeah,
and not, murder funnels.
Murder funnels.
There was one like actual like fight or altercation I saw at a bar, and it was a Texan who started it, not a Canadian.
Yeah.
But no, like everything, like it's one of the few times I've been traveling and like I left being like, I could live here. I could just become Canadian. Yeah. Granted, it's a really hard thing to do, like immigrating like that, but it's it's really nice. It's a place I felt safe enough to get a fucking tattoo at. But like, no, it's fucking slaps.
Yeah. Norway's like that. Like, I've been to Oslo, I've been to Bergen, like, I've been to Trondheim, and these are all, like, some of the biggest cities in Norway. And you're walking around these big cities, they feel clean, there's all kinds of transportation everywhere, all the buildings look really nice, there's all kinds of architecture designs to just look good, and everything like that. And to be fair, it's an older country, so they just have old buildings in general that just look artsy in comparison to what we got now. And but all these places, no matter where we went, I never felt like in danger. Bergen was like probably the most like sketchy is not even a good way to put it, because it wasn't really sketchy, but like it was the one that was most like I'm not sure kind of energy. Mm-hmm. And even then it felt pretty fine overall.
Yeah. And it's, I guess in Canada's side, it's like the thing that's a bit more frustrating is like with how, because like Victoria had like good architecture, like actually well-designed stuff, like old buildings that were preserved. And like, it's the thing where it's like, what, isn't British Columbia like around the same age of a country, or like it's province, but you get what I mean, as like the United States? Like, that's been like settled for around the same amount of time. So like, what happened to like our cities?
Corporations and capitalism.
Yeah.
A lot of things are made for function over form, and then the few things that are made for form just don't have anything that like gives a gentle sense. A lot of the ones, it's like the building that can melt cars, like it's just made, and it's just nothing but glass and like metal, and it just doesn't feel like it integrates. Like, honestly, there are a lot of really beautiful places in Seattle too. it's a dirty city in a lot of places, but like
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of
scary.
places where you get to see like kind of from like Last of Us 2, the places where you get skyscrapers mixed with like the ivy growing on buildings and stuff like that, and
That's true.
big open vistas, and you get those beautiful sights, but there's just a lot of like there's a lot of mess you have to get around to get to those places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunately a lot of it is just bad management of various health systems. Like America's medical system currently is the reason why we have as much crime. Well, is one of the reasons, I should say, that we have as much crime and as much poverty as we do. Because there's people who go in, something happens, their life is destroyed, or they can't get the help they need, and it just ruins them, and they end up on the street, or they end up in a desperate situation, and there's just no way around it. If we had universal health care, I guarantee those problems would be solved a lot easier, because they are in play. Like Britain is also a place that's kind of not the best. It's got a lot of sketch to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
And I've been watching a lot of trash taste lately, and even like one of them was like in Britain, and like this guy just walks up to him and shows him like a stab wound and is like, hey, can I have some money for the hospital? And like it's free healthcare there, so like even though there's free healthcare, you still get weirdos in sketchy situations. So it's obviously bigger issues than that, but removing as many problems as possible to make it better for living from everyone is just a good way, and that's how Canada does it. That's how Norway does it, you know. It's how the Netherlands do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the Netherlands, you start out with max credit score.
Huh.
Because their credit score is based on whether you fuck up or not, not what you like building it up. And
fair, I guess.
The Netherlands is the country with the most debt, but that's because most people buy houses with it, and so they're paying off their houses, and you can just go and do that. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Like if you lived in the Netherlands, I could go apply for credit and get a house.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah, I mean they have their own housing issues and everything like that, and there's some other problems mixed in with that. But what I'm saying is that's what a lot of people have done in like those places, and that's just the thing, is right. But at the same time, America, you have a lot of opportunities to make money doing literally anything that doesn't exist in other countries because of how they're taxed and everything like that.
True.
Like apparently being a Japanese YouTuber is a nightmare.
Huh.
Because of how they view like YouTubers as like a business and the kind of taxes they have to pay or whatever. So there's a lot of problems around those kind of areas for the bigger ones, I should say, not like the smaller town ones.
That's interesting. I had no clue about that.
Yeah. So, you know, like there's all kinds of stuff out there that like I still want to move to a better place, safer place, you know. Even where I live, like there's sketchy places all over the place. Our neighborhood is sketchy as fuck. We've had 2 cars stolen here.
Yeah.
That's just how it is in America in a lot of places. You only get peace when you live out in the middle of fucking nowhere, or where you live where the property rates are too high for normal people to live in.
True.
That's the only safe places in America, is just having enough money, pretty much. But yeah, TableTalk or the channel, I don't know. If anyone's here who actually wants to ask questions, go ahead. I honestly thought there'd be a lot more people coming around today.
Maybe if you... Yeah, I actually got no...
Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just chance of bullshit. Do whatever.
Yeah. Ah, fuck. Dude, getting a tattoo fucking like is so nice, but so fucking sucks.
Oh, what?
I just stretched. And my neck was like, I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it, but like, man, I gotta like take care of it for 2 weeks. Ugh.
What tattoo did you get?
I got the brand of sacrifice
Ah.
on the the right side of my neck, the same place where guts happen.
Nice.
Yeah, I posted a picture of it in our like personal Discord a while back ago.
Did you?
But yeah.
I don't remember. I've been so busy though.
No, I don't expect. But like it's yeah, it's up in our gaming one. Getting it was like a guy was carving into my neck.
Yeah.
Did not feel good. But hey, I remember we had this conversation. I don't know if you were there during that moment, but it was during one of our Saturday games where we were talking about like tattoos and stuff, because like there's 3 of us in that call who have a phobia of needles. And all of us were like, it feels like it's different with a tattoo. I can safely say, what I said was completely true. I was not horribly afraid while getting a tattoo. The anxiety of a needle did not cross over.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't have any similar fear, but
I
fucking
wish I didn't. I wish I wasn't scared of needles. It's just annoying.
I want to get some tattoos too. I just
it's a lot of money. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And apparently up where I went in Canada, like the tattoo I got, like it was a walk-in tattoo, which is like, you know, next to impossible.
Hard to do.
If you're in the US, you don't want to.
Yeah.
But like the place was like phenomenal. Like actual the location was really nice. Everyone there was super cool. The tattoo guy was a grindcore punk rocker Canadian, Canadian who spoke like Canadian stereotype.
Oh,
he was full on, like A at the end of every sentence.
Right.
Really like strong O sounds. So he was talking about like grindcore, like a grindcore concert with like a band called like Slaughter and stuff. And he was going to the grindcore concert, eh? Like full on like that. And he's dressed like, he looks like just a full on like punk rocker.
That's awesome.
It's like, it's definitely totally normal in Canada, but in the US, it's like, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
This is just
culture shock.
Yeah, exactly. But like, no, it was like in that shop, it was like $125 for a tattoo, which is really cheap compared to some American prices.
Yeah, for something like that, it could be like $300 easy.
Yeah, that's the one over nearby, the next town over, which is like the only place you'd go, like over in Yakima. It's like $300. Though right now I'm also in the stage where it itches really bad, and I can't itch it at all. I was told not to.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hate it.
I know a lot of people, they keep the bandages on, the patch on for a while, just because
I wish I could. There's no way he could bandage it because it's on my neck. Yeah. And he said he put like that cling wrap thing on it, and I was like, is there anything else? He's like, yeah, no, I'd put like an actual bandage on it, but you know, like, I don't want you walking around looking like you just got out of a car wreck, you know? And I was like, fair. Because you'd have to wrap it around my neck.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, it would look ridiculous.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many things. I'm very excited. I'm very excited because the future of the channel, like, it's going to afford a lot of fun things to do. You know, go and do a bunch of things. Maybe get some tattoos, get a studio. Studio would be sick. I'd love to get a nice studio.
So cool. That's another thing I'd spend YouTube money on, is another tattoo.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, once we start generating revenue, everything is going to go back into the channel in some form or fashion. You know? The channel's a little in debt at the moment because we have a deficit, because I have like Adobe and I have other programs and such, and that I pay every month to even produce content that my wonderful fiance has been shouldering the burden for a while now.
And Adobe is Adobe, so.
Yeah. And Adobe is Adobe, and it's an abusive relationship. But what can you do? You know.
Yeah. Adobe fucking sucks, but it's also like one of the best editing programs for the stuff we're doing.
Yep. And I know the programs also very well. I could do them on and I know other people who've done them on other programs, but this is just the one I'm most familiar with, and I just honestly do not have the capacity to go and learn a new program.
I've tried to use a really nice free one, DaVinci, but god fucking damn it, it's really complicated to do basic stuff for some reason.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a 5-step process for me to add text to a video. It's ridiculous.
From what I remember correctly, I think there's a bunch of legal bullshit around it because Microsoft, and I think a lot of it is just the programs can't do this things the same exact way. Programs have to be done in a different fashion to avoid, causing issues.
That's
so
really weird.
If you want things to be more regular, you have to go in and change all the settings yourself. That's what I've heard a lot. So,
though the one thing I'll give it is DaVinci has really good color grading software. It's really easy to and really nice to just do color grading. It's phenomenal. Adobe's color grading is very simple, so it has that's a good thing. And I've seen phenomenal work done, and it looks really intuitive. The actual basic editor is really dumb, in my opinion. I really hated using it when I was
cutting content feels so hard for no reason.
It's ridiculous. It was just because I wanted to see when I was not paying for Adobe for a bit, the beautiful time in my life where I wasn't paying for Adobe.
Yeah, same.
It was let's test it, and I was this is agony. I was making a quick little edit of a video my friend sent where he made a little video for Warhammer, a little joke thing, and I added some I edited it to make it a little cooler and have a bit more gravitas to it as a meme. But it would have taken me 10 minutes, if that, in Premiere. It took me a whole hour in Resolve. Just be not even looking up how to new system. It was how the fuck do I do these basic things? Because they're hidden behind so many different layers of just cutting video, god, adding sound music to something, timing thing. It's awful.
Yeah.
But hey, the ones who know how to use it, they use some great work.
True. Yeah, I mean, if you put in the time and effort, you get some savings out of it. But I don't care enough. I'll pay the money. One day, maybe I can just not care. But for now, it's just whatever. It's one of those things, and the thing is too is just because I've gotten so good at it, I can work so fast doing Adobe stuff. It would take me so much longer than any other program right now, and it would take a few months before I got to maybe the same speed. And I just don't want to put myself through that. It's worth the $60 a month or something for the bullshit.
Yeah, whatever dumb price they keep increasing it to.
Well, yeah, especially because if you want a single program, it's $20 or $25 or something, and it's so for the 3 programs I'm using, which everyone uses, which is Audition, Premiere, Photoshop. It's cheaper just to buy the whole bundle than it is to buy those 3. So
yeah, you also can't mix and match. You can't just buy Premiere. You have to buy the whole.
Yeah.
You can't just get the ones you want. They have because that's the annoying part. Photoshop is tied in with a different pack, with Lightroom and in Animate.
Yeah, Lightroom, Illustrator.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
You can't just get the ones I want, which is Audition, Premiere, and Photoshop. So those are the ones I use.
Yeah, and they know everyone uses those, so they make it impossible to get it without just getting everything.
Which, granted, I should actually learn how to use After. It's I've seen the results from it. It's really cool. Apparently, it's once you just understand where things are, it's really intuitive, and it's really powerful. But god damn, it looks annoying.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm gonna be the boss and the one who works everything, because I'd be all right, y'all, you can learn that stuff, whatever. I'll do thumbnails. I'm good at thumbnails.
Yeah,
but
I'm not good at them.
After Effects.
I will eventually learn that, and I have my roommate who's currently trying to learn After Effects too for a project he's working on that I'm helping him make. He's learning he's learning After Effects, and I'm friends with a guy who's honestly, he's fucking cracked at After Effects.
Yeah.
Man is a god when it comes to it, like that program. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, he actually did, like, in After Effects, a little short that I like. One of the first things I saw him make. He made a short where the entire concept was that he cloned himself, and the thing is it was done with After Effects, and it was him actually interacting with himself.
Right.
Like, and that, like, honestly, like, that doesn't sound like too crazy, but like, it's actually interacting
It's very hard.
with yourself. That's hard. That's really hard. Because you can just have, like, a split video file or shaking hands with yourself.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
One big challenge for After Effects where you gotta hand yourself a water bottle.
Yeah, he did that. He played catch with himself, shook his own hand, like that stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh my god,
right,
dude!" And then I immediately poached him for a project.
Hi, Dead Phoenix. What's up?
Yo.
Welcome to the party. We're just chilling.
Yeah.
If you got any questions, feel free to ask. But this has been a rather uneventful stream. Oh, whatever. You know, I don't mind just sitting around shooting bullshit for 2 hours.
Very true.
We will have more impactful table talks in the near future. I know. Because we have another guest coming up in a few weeks.
Ooh, hell yeah!
So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for that one too. So
yeah,
and all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure we'll start probably doing a lot more stuff with just table talk soon. So oh yeah, I also have to get a banner for the channel.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the things I said I was due when we hit 1,000. So I gotta get ready and start commissioning for channel art and maybe a rebranding of the logo. I kind of like the logo though because it's really easy to see. We have really talked about almost nothing, so you're good to go on that front. You can ask whatever. Anything I want to try out as a player or GM? Player, new classes for sure. GM, cryptids, because being able to customize monsters more easily. Because one of the things I got really good at in Anima is just I could make whatever monster I wanted because I knew generally how the stats worked. And to be fair, I could probably do that in Pathfinder 2 at this point. But having something that's a very easy template to just be like, okay, now you can make a troll and you can turn it into a mutant troll. Now you can turn it into a augmented troll. Now you could turn it into a primeval troll. Now you could turn it into a rumored troll. Like, just that functionality alone. Pentuples. I think there's 5 cryptid types. Let me double check that real quick here.
It's a thing where it takes a thing you could probably do and just takes some of the workload.
It takes a lot of it out, and
yeah,
honestly, like, even for new players or new GMs, let's see, mutant, primeval, rumored. Oh, is it just those 3? I could have swore an experimental.
No.
Experimental, mutant, primeval. Which the primeval art's sick. Looks like Sif the Wolf, only more badass.
That's
and
hard
rumored.
To get.
Yeah, so that quadruples the number of creatures that are already in the game, pretty much. And you could have something like an owlbear that can turn into a troll, for instance.
Hell yeah.
One of the abilities they have. Or, all kinds of things. Like, it's really cool. Really good. I think the Psychic is really cool. Thaumaturge is probably going to be my favorite from this book in particular. But, yeah, a lot of the stuff is just more. That's it, plain and simple. Thaumaturge and Psychic are strong. They're not broken. They're not power creep. They're just good. More options. So many archetypes. Oh my god, so many archetypes. Primeval Goblin. What would a Primeval Goblin do? I'm curious.
I am 100% going to play a Psychic at some point, and I also want to play use the Mind Shaper archetype. That thing looks so cool. I always love the characters like that create their weapons out of their mind. It's so fun.
Primeval are entities that refuse to die.
The unkillable goblin.
So an unkillable goblin would have broken arsenal of random weapons inside of its body that it can use for melee attacks.
Jesus. Hell yeah.
If it hits 0, it can once per day or once per week avoid going down. It can create a shockwave and push everything around it by stomping. It has a stench around it from all the wounds and infections it has. Yeah, that sounds sick. That sounds like a badass goblin right there.
I can't wait to encounter some on the open seas.
Oh yeah, trust me. I've already been having some fun ideas with some of the stuff we could do.
Hell yeah.
Especially because, making standard monsters, that's great. But making boss monsters with these stats on top of them is even better.
Oh my god, yeah.
My party had a lot of fun with the Megalodon when we fought one. Making that one a Primeval would be hilarious.
Terrifying.
Shark just comes up and swings a sword at you.
Full flipper.
No, just in its jaws, just a giant sword.
Oh my god.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
So there's a lot of really fun things that you can throw in the book for sure. And then the archetypes are all really good. And the archetypes are all very smartly designed. A lot of them are strong. One of the things I'm very excited for is a lot of the archetypes have introduced once per hour things to characters rather than just once per day stuff. So rather than just like one cool thing you can do like in a given play session typically, now you're getting stuff where it's like, oh, you can cast mirror image on yourself once per hour because you made a bargain with the fey creature living inside of you, giving access to illusion magics, or even an R from the pack binder, or no, the living vessel. Yeah, living vessel, where you have a fiend in you of some kind, and once per hour you can coat yourself in this toxic sludge that does additional damage, like poison damage when you strike enemies and when you're struck by an unarmed or melee ranged weapon. And it goes up in level with you as well. So
that's sick.
It's really cool. They have a lot of really fun things. The Eldritch Aberration one, you essentially have a crushing grab, where if you have an enemy grabbed, tentacles start coming out of your arms, and the enemy's mind becomes warped as they take bludgeoning damage equal to your level, and mental damage equal to your highest mental stat attributes modifier.
Huh.
And when you can pick it up, it's like level 12. So like more often than not, you can grab an enemy and just deal 16 damage to them with no save or nothing.
Free damage.
It's really good.
That's really cool.
It's not even an attack action, so you can grab an enemy and just dump damage on them. I think it's once per round, but like that's still once per round.
Yeah, no, that's worth like still.
So, like a lot of them are good, and a lot of them are very story based. Oh, there's so many good things. I'm so excited with this book. It's really good. I really wish the Secrets of Magic book had like as much beef to it as this book did.
God, it's like the real thing. Like always like the new book sets the standard for the next.
Yeah, it's true.
So each book has been really good.
They've all been really solid, yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited. Like we got to 1,000 way before than I was expecting, and a lot of estimates are showing that we'll hit 5,000-6,000 next year, maybe more depending on certain circumstances. This channel will just start blowing up out of nowhere. It's gonna be insane. We're gonna just one day is like, oh, we just got 200 subscribers today. Awesome. Okay, I remember Jacksepticeye was on Trash Taste, and I remember when he first started his journey, and he started really like, it started rolling and he started getting money, and he's just like, yeah, once things get going, it gets out of control because one month you work and you're like, oh, this might be really good. I can do this with a job and I'll be set. The next month you're like, oh, this is actually a job. And then the next week you're like, what's going on? I just made more in 1 month than I've made most years working a part-time job. And it's like, it can really spiral out of control. I don't know if that really happens in the tabletop community at all, but like, it could.
Yeah.
You know, if you are willing to push the content and really work at it. So, you know, I'd say given a few years, give 3 more years, 4 more years, 5 more years, like 5 years at most, this channel will probably be hitting 100K plus subs, and we'll be doing some really crazy things with it. So, you know, 5 years is a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time when it comes to a career in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm excited for the most, is just starting to make this into an actual job and then filtering that money back into the job so that you can make it bigger and bigger and then start doing things like you always wanted to do, you know, like playing tabletop on a plane for a video, for instance. I don't know why you would, but you could do it.
Yeah, then have the pilot do some spins. Like, I already rolled the dice, so they just, like, spin the plane.
Yeah, right. Or, you know, just like, there's all kinds of really, really fun content that I want to produce. I really want to make. I want to make tabletop look like the funnest thing in the world to people so that, you know, more people get into it, more people can have games. And biggest thing, I want to be able to like hire all my friends and give them jobs they want so that they can all live good lives and have good jobs. And you know, like, I don't need to be rich. I don't need to be filthy rich from it. I would like to live in some comfort, sure, but like, I don't need a mansion. I might get a small yacht, but everyone's like, oh, I'll never own a yacht. Mr. Beast posted recently, I'll never get a yacht. But it's like, yachts are a classification of boat that are just like more luxury than a speedboat, which is not really saying all that much.
That, or just like get a pontoon boat. Because pontoon boats are meant to just like, to actually just chill on.
Plus, I grew up with my grandfather owning a yacht, so, you know, like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I think they're great. They're really fun. I enjoy being on the water a lot too. So, you know, like, I might get one of those, sure, but like, I don't need to live in a fancy house. I don't need to do all kinds of super crazy things. If anything, I want to put money back into the content so that we make just ridiculously fun content, or we can do some really big giveaways. That would be a lot of fun. Giving people like full sets of Pathfinder books. That's a big giveaway. That's a
Yeah.
$500 doesn't even cut it for that. So,
You know what would be a good thing is getting yourself a house. I'm speaking purely hypothetical. I feel like everyone can, you know, agree with this. A house that's like you can have a room that's just dedicated to like your miniatures and like all the minis you own and all that, like a bunch of nice display cases. Yeah, but like just for miniature.
Just for minis.
Yeah, but like I feel like everyone can kind of like agree with that.
Sure, yeah, totally.
Because like if you do have that money, you'd have like a lot, like everyone.
Everyone would have minis.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone would have a Tyranid army if they could.
Yeah, like a full Tyranid army with a lot of gaunts.
But like, yeah, like I would want a house big enough to have a game room / like filming room in. Like, the filming room is of the game room aspect because that's what we do, obviously. And then a work office, a bedroom, and then a few other bedrooms for kids. And I think that'd be good.
You know what would slap? Like it's the thing I've always wanted as a kid, but I don't think it'll ever like happen. I want like a room that's hidden with like a bookshelf, you know?
I've seen one of those. I've been in a place that had one of those.
Oh my god. I want like a secret room, you know? Like a secret like cool room. It's like the man cave, but it's like hidden behind like a bookcase, and you pull the book down and like it opens. That's what I want. I want that.
I was back when I was doing home insurance stuff, taking pictures of people's homes, I was in this really big house. It was a really big ass house. Like, pretty much, I wouldn't say a mansion per se, but it was a house that could pretty much have like 20 people in it comfortably.
Damn.
Like, it was a pretty big place. I think it had at least like 8 bedrooms and a massive kitchen, massive living room. And yeah, so one of the features they had was you could open up a shelf in the kitchen, and it opens up to a ladder that goes down into a wine cellar. So that was...
What more do you need?
One of the funniest things. No, it wasn't comfortable. The ladder you had to take was like a short spiral staircase, and the actual wine cellar itself was not huge. But I can say I've honestly been in a place that had a secret room before. So
yeah, and it's cool.
It is
like
cool.
You gotta be yeah, it might not be like the most comfortable, but I got a secret room and you don't. You know.
Yeah, fair. You know, like that's the kind of thing. Like I like to have a house that's like maybe like, well, with house prices nowadays, putting a price on a house is kind of obtuse, because you can be like, I like to have a $500,000 house, but what you actually mean is I like to have $1 million house, because that's how bad the market is right now. But yeah, I like to have a nice house, you know, like I would say by normal standards, like I would say like a $500,000 house, something like that. Nice, classy, but not like not a mansion, not like a $5 million mansion or something like that.
Yeah, I hate those like giant LA mansions. They look really like lonely to be in, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like those giant ones are like made of glass, and there's like all these rooms, and it's like, but no one's in them. So it just feels like it's like empty and kind of barren. It's like, it's really sad. Like I always get this like really sad feeling when I'm looking at that. I'm like, living in there must like suck.
I do love floor to ceiling windows though. I don't know why, but I just absolutely love having a room that just has big windows in it.
I don't know. I can't fully relate to that, I guess. I don't like really having my windows open. I don't like the idea that people could like peek into my house and see what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd also like to live in like the trees somewhere. Like I like to live like in a back lot behind some trees and something like that.
Yeah.
There's some nice places along the Hood Canal that I would really like to live in, because you get this nice, like there's a main road, and then you drive off for like a couple hundred feet until you get to your property. And then you have this nice big house and big windows that look out over the Hood Canal. And, you know, it's beautiful. It's trees, water, all the stuff I love. So,
yeah.
That's, you know, that is the extent. And then plus all the bullshit with the games. Like, being able to buy whatever game I want, being able to have, like, a VR room, or being able to afford the Stream Deck. Yeah, that's the expensiveness I want to live in.
I want a Stream Deck so bad.
I know.
Oh, I want it so bad. It's like a Switch, but I'd use it more. And like it more, because it's my PC games.
Yeah.
There's so many games on Steam where I'm like, I'd play you more if I was like, I could be horizontal and play them, you know?
Right, yeah. So, you know, it's just like, yeah, they're like, I think everyone would like some luxury items here and there, but I don't want to be like Logan Paul or anything, where they just have a big ass mansion house and buy new cars like I hate people who are just like, oh yeah, I got like 8 cars, and it's like, cool, I bet you drive one of them all the time because it's your favorite.
Yeah, I don't get that. Well, granted, I also just don't understand like that stuff, because like I'm just the person who's like, I will keep my current car until it fucking breaks down. I just can't have it anymore. Like I don't need it like 20 different cars. I'll only use one of them. I don't get it. I also just don't really care for cars, but those people must be like major car enthusiasts, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, I guess, but like I've never been a car person either. I would like a new moderner car so I could drive that, but I would drive that car, you know, until it was broken and then get another one.
I
you
just
know.
want a car that has like AC that works quickly or a
Yes.
heater that works quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss my Honda Fit. I used to have a Honda Fit, but big financial crash, and I got it on lease because I was dumb and got talked into it.
Uh,
And then I couldn't renew the lease because my credit was too bad. So, unfortunate. I would have a whole ass car if I didn't fuck that up. Oh well. Life is life. But yeah, so I don't know. I expected the stream to be something different, but I think it's okay.
yeah.
Can't get really
Um,
upset when you're like, oh, we hit 1,000K, yeah, and then you get a stream that's like one of your lowest streams you've had in a while.
yeah. Still got one. Still got 1K.
Still got 1K. Still getting more. Got a sub during the stream even. And we'll still do some more stuff. We'll still have some bigger streams. So yeah, for 1K. Yeah, it's just one of those things of like, we will have 5K before we know it. We will eventually have streams that will have 50 people rather than 5. It will happen. That's not even like theory or I guess conjecture. It's just, it will happen because we will be pumping out more content, and we have enough entertainment value, I think, to entertain like a few hundred people. So I think we have a lot coming up, and 1K is still just 1K. It's just the starting. This is the starting line of YouTube. Getting 1K and then like getting on stream being like, fuck yeah, we're gonna get like 50 or 100 people today, like that just doesn't happen. That's fine. It's okay. All you gotta do is just keep pushing forward and keep making content, and hopefully in the future, for everyone who's been here, like Dead Phoenix, like Spider and us, people who've been here for since almost the beginning now, we'll be able to do some fun things for those people. I'd love to do like an appreciation stream where all the people who've been here forever, get like some cool rewards or something. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, it's real nice because like it's really weird. I've heard that it's like there's YouTubers who like remember their first like active members, and it's like really is like, it's like every once in a while like someone pops in and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that guy, I know who that is.
Every streamer has those, and the thing is, right, even big streamers only have like a handful that they remember or do stuff with. So like,
yeah,
we got that already. All we just need is just more people watching. That's it. And the same place. I mean, heck, if you have enough of a tabletop like streaming service to be able to buy adventure paths with it, that's pretty good. That's better than some do. I definitely have gone online and seen a lot of chats with 1-2 people in it. So
yeah.
If you have more than 10 viewers, you're in like the top like 20% or something, 30%. And we've gotten over 20 on this channel before. So, like, it's going to happen. And to be fair, you're right. Tabletop is kind of smaller, but podcasting is a little different. We talk about tabletop here, and I've seen some podcast style tabletop channels that have done really well and get like a few hundred people on. So, we also plan to do more in the future. There will be more content, and something that I also want to do as well. One of my many dreams and goals I have is I do want to make tabletop content more accessible for casual players and people who are just interested. I want to make content for people that even don't do tabletop, but they can enjoy as well. Because I feel like that is the path to success, is opening up an audience to something that you love, even if it's in a form that, they can enjoy. So it's kind of one of those things of like, There will be kinds of content that we make that hardcore players will hate. Plain and simple. But there will be content that we make that hardcore players will love. I mean, the whole archetype videos is kind of more on the serious side of casual, in a sense. Because everyone wants to know, like, what can they make for their character, what kind of builds they can make. And we'll probably start doing build videos here on the channel as well. I think that's going to be a very good direction to move. So I'm looking for a format to make build videos that are very entertaining and informative and not super long. If I can make them, and again, like 20-minute formats that we've kind of been doing, or less, hopefully, I think... Shut up, I know I talk too much in my videos. I can't.
Just like to really explain stuff.
Well, I feel like a lot of stuff needs to be explained.
Yeah, no, it does. Let's just find it funny.
I want it to be more condensed and concise, but man, Pathfinder is a crunchy game no matter how you split it. It's easy when you know what's going on, but, you know. Anyway, doesn't matter. I do want to make more build video content that is not what everyone else is producing for build content. So I'll look around, see what we can do. Maybe if anything, it's just presentation style. So maybe we'll develop a presentation style that's very eye-catching, very interesting to listen to. Yeah, well, and you know, that's the thing, right? That's also something we want to do on the channel, is provide a look in. That's why, despite it kind of hurting the channel in some ways, we have live play content on the channel. Live play content kind of hurts the algorithm, because the algorithm sees that you do something and it gets like less than 300 people or whatever, and they're like, ooh, that's kind of a black mark there, chief. But I want people to see how I run games, you know. I want people to see... I like talking about it, but I want to show what I preach. You know what I mean? You were going to say something, Alex?
Oh, no, I'm just saying like that. Yeah, that's how it works, sadly. But it's a good thing. But also, as someone who doesn't care about live play content, like watching it on YouTube, I get why they don't do as well.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said,
yeah.
It kind of hurts the channel, and we might find a way that's a little bit more conducive for the channel in the future. I might make a sub channel just for live play content so that this channel doesn't get bogged down with it. And I think that'll probably be... Long videos aren't great for the algorithm. A lot of people even put stuff like that on separate channels. Lol, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, to be fair, I had it on the channel because, one, I didn't want to manage two channels. But two, because, honestly, at least with the way we were doing videos prior, we were just not producing as much content as YouTube would like. And producing more content is better for YouTube than producing less content. So it kind of was in a place. If I can get to a point where I can produce 5 videos a week easy, then I think I'll just move all the live play to a different channel. And then people who want to see that can see that. It'll be available. It'll be something that will be advertised on the channel. But it will not affect the algorithm. It'll help the channel grow and all kinds of stuff like that. So, like, unfortunately, it's just a lot of finagling. It's just a lot of, like, moving certain types of content around to get benefits that you need out of it. If you're producing 2 videos a week, doing a live play, even though it's not great as far as view count is concerned, it's great because you're getting more content on the channel. But if you're producing like 5 or more videos in a week, the live play hurts because the algorithm is looking at your averages and it's cutting your averages down by like a solid few hundred views.
Yeah.
So that's something we'll probably shift to do here, especially now that we've hit 1,000. We'll probably start doing stuff. We'll get channel art, you know, we might upgrade the logo. Again, I like the logo. It sticks out. I always can see it very easily when I'm scrolling through stuff. but I might do something that's a little bit more, official than just a red or orange shamrock on a green background. We might move some of the other content to another channel, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to do the looking into games though on another channel or not, even though those videos don't necessarily get as much. If it draws people more to the main channel though, is the thing. I don't know. That's an interesting question to look into, because I do like it when we look into other systems, and I think that's something that we add. Yeah, I think that's something that we add, and I feel like throwing that content onto a secondary channel would not be the best, but I don't know. Maybe
I still strongly believe that even though it's not doing great at the moment, it's something that retroactively will do very well. Maybe. I still really think that. I don't know if there's any like evidence to prove my claim, but I still think it's very like possible that they'll stay at the state that they're at for a while, and then like suddenly they'll all get a lot of views.
You know what I might do? I think this is a good idea. What I might do is I might put the setting up and the like final thoughts videos on this channel, and then in those videos I'll have a link in the description, and I'll have a title card that'll come up that they can click to go watch on the longer content on the other channel.
I mean, that makes sense.
So that way, if people are curious how it's played, they can click it and go there. And if not, then this channel doesn't get, content that has 68 views on it. So I think that's probably... let's see. Since I'm surrounded by fellow nerds, I do have a question. Are we talking 2E here, or are we talking on other topics? I'm not sure when it comes to channel advice or analytics. You seem to be doing all right. We are doing all right. I mean, Pathfinder 2E content is the bigger draw. But when we're talking about looking into other systems, like that kind of stuff, we're doing that as a part of adding to Tabletop. So I feel like that content belongs on the channel, but maybe the Session Zeros and live plays belong on a secondary channel so that people can get the final thoughts and the how to set up, videos here. And it's best of both worlds, especially because, again, now that the channel's gonna be getting revenue in a sense, the algorithm is going to prioritize us based on how profitable they think we are. So having channels that are, or having videos that are not doing really well will bring our averages down, which will make us look less profitable. So yeah, it feels like those should at least stay on the main channel. Maybe longer campaign would be better for another channel. Not that I'm promoting the idea of myself. No, yeah, I think you're right, Phoenix. Honestly, I think that's the direction to go, especially now. Again, I don't want to do like full weeks of content anymore, or at least not without help, because oh my god, it's really rough. And having at least something is better than nothing in a lot of cases. And I liked the whole doing 2 videos a week thing myself. Maybe, when it can be worked around and when I can more appropriately do so, have an editor come on to do the other half of the content, or other 3 videos or 2 videos at least. If I can get 2 videos on, that would probably help a significant amount. But that would be, if I can do 5 videos a week, I think that would be big. I think that would be huge. Plus our Table Talk videos, and the Table Talk, even though they're going to get less views, I feel on average they do a little bit better than the other content. And I like having them on this channel because it's just for us to come and talk to everyone. And I feel like that one I can leave on the channel as far as like long content, 2-hour content, especially because as we get more and more popular, it'll get better. Not only that, but the algorithm looks at live views differently than it does like post views. So, well, the whole 2-channel thing is literally just when we stream on that channel, and then the videos will automatically upload there. You know what I mean? And then that channel becomes more of like a reserve channel for people to go to look at the content if they desire. I'm not saying a second channel for like actually producing and making revenue off of. I feel like that is not, like, those kind of videos won't do that anyway. So whatever channel we're putting them on is not a revenue orientated channel.
No.
Unless people do watch it. And then, in which case, like, then it becomes a different story. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what will happen? We might get people who become interested in Pathfinder 2E and want to do live content. And they're other, you know, popular content creators. That could happen, you know. As long as we keep producing this sense of, like, we are the channel to go to for that, then, yeah, we might get people to actually come on and play. And that would be cool. That'd be really sick. So I feel like it's something that will come with time. Right now, we just got to focus on what the channel is doing well at, which is archetype videos, evolving into build videos, and then when we get the revenue and resources to do so, then we can start doing more like interesting experimental content, see what sticks, get some more people on, get some people interviewed on, do all kinds of things, you know. There's a lot to do. This is a job after all. And I'm lucky to have someone who is willing to at least sit here and chat with me for 2 hours. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all for everyone who's come by for the 1K special. I'm looking forward. How many years have I DM'd? 20-ish years, give or take. I want to say. I discovered tabletop games when I was really young, and I wasn't introduced by like an adult or anything, so I had to do a lot of it myself. So I started about like between ages 8 to 10, and I've been DMing. I've been a forever DM ever since. I can count on maybe my hands and toes how many games I've actually played in. Maybe even just 2 hands. I don't know. It hasn't been that many. But I've DM'd more games than I'd care to count. For a lot of different systems, too.
Especially now, with trying out new systems all the time.
I mean, now we're trying out a new system every month. And now we're having more people come on. I used to do Adventure League and run Adventure League games. That's how I met Alex. That's how I met my fiance. You know, and I also just absolutely love tabletop theory, and I push myself to be a better DM. I wish, one of the things I can't wait for is when I have more editors to do the content. I don't mind getting up, recording, writing scripts. I don't mind doing the thumbnails if need be. But one of the things I really look forward to once we start becoming more of an actual like company is to reinvest my time into becoming a better DM, because I feel like my DMing has fallen over the last couple of years just because I haven't been doing it as much, and I really want to repolish my skills up quite a bit. I'm sure everyone who plays in my games is like, no, you're doing great, but like, I don't know, I feel like my skills have been slipping, so I'd really like to repolish those and advance and do better in that, because I love DMing. And honestly, if I had the choice, I would DM for a living more than doing this, but you know, this would pay more. So
yeah.
Goodness, yeah, I was going to guess you started playing young. I know this isn't a concern right now, but have you considered making side content for 2E? There are some systems in the game that are less than well written, or to create content for the game monsters. Not my thing, mostly because I feel like, well, first of all, I'm an improv DM. I never prep anything ahead of time. I have a really good ability to think quickly and to improv storytell really well. And so I just never have anything written down. I never structurally make anything. Oh yeah. Any sessions you can see on the channel currently, I think about it, but I just kind of come and just do the thing. Sometimes I
I
might make a map ahead of time.
I can attest. I've been in the room with him while he's done this. This is completely true. Like the amount of fucking like complex dungeons Cam is just improv out of his mind. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's only because I have a talent for being able to think really, really fast. Like, I craft the story as we go because I can just do so. That's not a skill I would say every DM has. So if I was to make content, well, if I was to make like DM content, I don't think I'd be really good at giving people advice. I feel like the way I do it is very unusual. Not that other DMs don't improv, but other DMs that need a little bit more something to go off of, typically. And as far as that, I mean, I'm making a game currently. And I would like to make a game that I feel just does everything better rather than just augment Pathfinder 2e. So
See, I'm the exact same way. I need like a skeleton to improv off of. No, I've played D&D in the same room as Cam. It is very interesting back in the day where you would just like lean back in your chair and just talk.
Yep.
Well, oh, are you just coming up with this on like top of your dome? All right.
I made a whole ass city for my fiance because she kept asking me questions. Yep. Like she just kept asking me questions about this vampire race in this one game, and I just kept giving answers. And she asked me enough questions, I eventually just made a whole ass city for her. And we had a big character arc in it. If you actually check on the, I think they are on this channel actually.
There.
I think they're on this channel. I know they're a little bit on the VOD channel as well. But yeah, if you look at the Rosencrantz arc section for the game Anima that we did, I made that whole thing myself. I made, 18 NPCs for that, all of which were interacted with by the players, had personalities, all that kind of stuff. Made a whole culture, made a whole mythology, made a lore, and tied it into in-game events that were kind of happening already. And yeah, it was a really, really good arc. I'm very proud of that arc. Probably my best arc ever.
It was awesome.
And yeah, I most of the time like let me say right now, we're gonna be playing Warhammer next week, and we got a game coming up. I know generally, like, I know 3 groups of enemies or characters that the players are going to interact with depending on how they do things. It's Warhammer, so mostly enemies, but meh.
Yeah,
we might be more diplomatic, who knows. I know there's 3 of those. I know the general scene of images in my mind of what's going to happen. I have nothing written down. I have no cheat sheet for the game or anything like that. I'm just going to run it. So you can check next week, watch the improv in skill, or in real time, and that's just how I do things. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for everyone who's come out to the 1K special and those who've been asking questions, especially Dead Phoenix, Spider-Nas, Cassic Earthmender, Gnome, or A Gnome, and Michael Sayer, and Quins. I haven't forgotten about you either. Thank you all so much for coming out and being here. Not a very exciting stream, but you know, whatever. If anything, just gives me a day of rest to prep for more stuff tomorrow. We will be doing, upon demand, the Sleepwalker archetype tomorrow. And then we'll do the other 2 archetypes coming out.
I'm responsible for that. Don't say I didn't never do anything for you guys, chat. I got you.
And if you've been watching this in video past the fact, thank you all so much for watching. Please follow, follow, or subscribe on your platform of choice. We stream on both Twitch and YouTube. We are in the process of becoming a YouTube partner, so we're going to start having more interactions on our streams soon, which I'm very excited for. And if Twitch ever gets rid of their exclusivity clause for affiliates, we will also affiliate over on Twitch and do stuff there as well, which I would love to do. I know there's people who've already said they wanted to Prime and everything for the channel. I'm very happy about that. I just cannot be bothered to re-upload a stream onto YouTube every time. And I also like talking to the YouTube core, like Jacob Christensen here. Thank you for the congratulations. 1,000 subs. It's been 10, 11 months in the making almost, and we've had some ups, we've had some downs, and we got here. And if I can do this, anyone can do this. So, you know, if any of you have any ideas, aspire to be a GM or anything like that, please feel free. Or not GM, sorry, a content creator. A GM too, yeah, sure, why not? But a content creator, if you have any hopes or you want any, you know, information, I try to be as open about the process as possible. Mostly because then I can watch these videos in the future and see like how right I was or whatever. I like kind of that level of austerity, I guess. And you can also join the Discord linked down in the description or linked below on the Twitch, where we talk all things tabletop, including things like Warhammer 40k. And yeah, you can message me there, and we can talk about, you know, what it's like to be a content creator, or just what it's like to GM or run tabletop in general. I love talking tabletop theory. I could talk about it for literal hours. And yeah, I guess any final thoughts? What's your 1,000? You know, you've been here the whole time, Alex. You've been a big part of this. What's your 1K speech? Let's hear it.
Wowza! There's a K next to it. That's pretty crazy, right?
Wowza.
I mean, no, it's I mean, it's sick as fuck. It's I'm super excited that this channel is like on that step and is gonna just keep going. It's real nice to have like a community of people who are all pretty chill, especially those that hang out in our Discord. You should come to the Discord.
Yeah, come talk Warhammer at Alex. He loves that.
Oh, I like 100%. See, like tabletop theory for him, but if you come to our Discord and hop in the Warhammer chat and say anything, I'll be there in like a second. It's great. I love that game. I love that stupid game, that stupid universe. It's super nice to have like a community around something. It's nice to be talking to a lot of people. I love hopping in here and hanging out, talking tabletop and with the chat too. This has been like nothing but a great time. I am ecstatic to be a part of this, like in any capacity.
That's fair. All right, take the spotlight off of you now. Thank you.
Thank God. You know what happens, Cam.
But you've all been great, and I look forward to growing this channel and community with you all even more in the future. With that, we're gonna go ahead and say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.